So welcome to Messages from the Universe. I am Wendy.
I am Brenda. Welcome.
Hi.
So excited.
Yeah, we are
April. I would just
sisters.
say that it's April
It's
2024.
Yes.
And someday these are going to be watched by millions of people. And so we want to specify.
Yeah, true. We're time travelers. Just for, yeah. What? Did you say time travel? Yeah, no, right? We like, let's talk about that. That's a fun one. So for those of you that are watching or have never been here before, I'm the artist and I channel a painting. So I just connect everything that we do is connected to spirit, right? So in the art world, especially, you can really open up that door wide and hear spirit really loudly. So I've tapped into that and worked it and kind of really exercised that muscle for at least the last decade intentionally. Although I've been painting longer, but with intention and with wanting to bring in new information and energy and things, the last decade or so. So every month I create a painting and it holds the energy that spirit really wants us to feel and know, and along with that, a ton of messages that they were telling me while I painted it. Now for this event, we're not really going to go detailed, moment to moment, all the meanings of each thing in the painting. I do create a separate video for that. That's free that you can listen to online on our YouTube channel. Okay. So if you're really like, what's that one thing right there? What does that mean? Right. And that's, yeah. And so the intention of this event is where Brenda and I, because Brenda's energy, she really holds and opens a portal to other dimensions in ways that I don't. And I open it in different ways. And so together you can kind of really experience a wider spectrum of what spirit is wanting to bring across. Because we've never been here before as human beings in this kind of ascension process or on this planet, like how it is right now. And so it's very exciting, but it's very tumultuous, especially for those that are sensitive. So you can feel all these little nuances of what's happening and such. And so these provide a kind of helpful, they're supposed to kind of help you, give you tools and things of what's happening right now. What's going on this month? Why is it so crazy? And then we answer some of those questions. She's like, that sounds good.
It's been a doozy.
She's like,
I think it's been a doozy. I feel like
This
it's
month,
been this like really exciting and then also really like, I'm sorry, what is this? I don't even know. What is this? What is this? I don't know. Let's not think about it. Let's not notice it. But yet everything is saying, no, notice it. Go here. Think about it. So yeah. And then the painting is so, and it's like, I don't know that that was my experience totally with this whole month.
Yeah, and I feel like that is so poignant, right? Like the paradox of that. Partly because, when we shine light, right, you're going to notice your shadow. I mean, right away, that's where, if you've ever met somebody that has never done any of this work, right, and you start shining and you start talking about these things, it scares them so much, partly just because they become aware of their insecurities or, they become aware of their shadow. So in that way, having more compassion for those moments, because if you are shining your light, you have learned to love aspects of your shadow. So it allows us to have a lot more compassion. But this energy it's nice. Let's just go there. But they're saying that this is here now. It's available to us now.
Do you have your?
The title of this painting is called Dream. And in these moments like this, where we're this month especially, there is a theme of light and dark, meaning there's a lot of darkness, there's a lot of light, kind of there's a lot of dark and there's a lot of light. You really are starting to see the polarization now. You're really starting to feel the polarization now. So that's one of the themes this month, of just learning how to maintain that and kind of, basically a storm in a way. I would say it's like a spiritual storm. And so that's partly what we're feeling and why it's so intense, because it is a storm, but a storm is meant to balance out the energy, like even like a real storm, right? The negative and positive ions, it's really is meant to kind of balance everything out. So in that way, knowing that nothing bad is happening and everything is truly here to kind of, so whatever's happening for you, you know, whatever's internally, whatever's coming or arising is really meant to kind of help balance you out and really trusting in that process, right?
All right, so just get comfortable. And I, of course, always invite you to close your eyes, and you do not have to close your eyes if that's not comfortable for you, but I like to close my eyes. Just want to close your eyes for some moments here and just connect with your beautiful self. And I mean your authentic inside self, that very sacred private space within you. And just notice your breath. And just slowing down your breath. Just allowing yourself to become fully present. I'm going to invite you to let go of your day. Let go of the efforts it took to get here today. Just allow yourself to breathe. And just letting go of any of that tension, any of that stress from this day, this week, this month. Just connecting with the top of your head and just releasing any tension from your forehead, in your jaw, behind your eyes. Just relax. Scanning down your neck and your shoulders. And again, release. Feeling your upper back, your chest, even your stomach. And just letting go of any worries, any doubts, any insecurities. Moving down to your lower stomach, your lower back. And again, relax. Scanning down to your hips. I'm going to honor the arms because I forgot to mention them. And your hips and your bottom again, and just release. Coming down to your legs, your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your beautiful ankles, your feet, and your toes. Again, just honoring that part of your body and letting go of any tension, any fear. And here I invite you to intentionally slow that breath, inhaling through your nose and holding that breath at the very top where you fill yourself up and just feel what that feels like to be full for as long as you can. And then exhaling through your mouth. We're going to do that one more time. Again, just inhaling as slowly as you can through your nose, holding on the very top as long as you can, and just exhaling through your mouth. And again, connecting with your beautiful body and letting go of any tension, any stress again. Going within, I invite you to honor yourself for being here, for allowing yourself to be in this moment. Thanking yourself for all that you do, for all that you are, and for feeding yourself in such a way, allowing yourself to be open. So saying or feeling within yourself, I love you, self. Thank you so much for everything. I love you so much. I'd like to honor and thank all of our beautiful, loving guides and angels. All that is here to help us. I'd like to honor and thank all of our ancestors that have come before us, all that will come after. Thank you as always for helping us see what it is that we need to see, hear what it is that we need to hear, do what it is that we need to do, and feel what it is that we need to feel, and say what it is that we need to say for our highest and greatest good, now and always. Thank you this day for helping us find peace and unconditional love within ourselves and each other. Thank you for helping us remember who we really are and letting go of that we letting go of what we think we understand to move into a more expansive, open, inner standing of our beings. And in honoring yourself, I invite you to honor and thank everyone in this room and everyone who listens later. We are all in this together. And whether we see each other or talk with each other, we are aware of each other. So just send out that gratitude, love, and acceptance of everyone who's here in whatever now exists. I'd like to honor and thank the earth for providing us with shelter and our beautiful landscape, the water that we drink, and the food that we eat. And here I invite you to imagine with me that in the middle of wherever you are, the archangels have gathered. And they bring with them such light, such love, even a beautiful song. And in their presence, they wish to help us in whatever way it is that we need help this day, in this now. So in whatever way you are willing to grow and change, I invite you to let go and give them your worries, your doubts, your insecurities, maybe your anger or resentment. Maybe you just don't even know what it is, but you have a sense of it, and you just say, I release the need for this discomfort, for this pain, for this unknowing. I let go with ease. There we go. And in this, they wish to enter our field, the auras of our beings, our souls in this vessel. They wish to enter the very field of our bodies. And this is a gift, and it requires your permission. You must feel within yourself this, yes, I give permission with love and intention and power for you to love me. And I invite you to feel that love. Feel that sensation in your beautiful body. Feel your cells light up and resonate with the energy of Source. Again, it's a surrender, a letting go, and a giving permission to heal all dis-ease. To balance any imbalances. And truly to act, it's an activation of your cells. And let's just breathe again, that deep breath, in whatever way that comes to you, breathe in this energy. So nice. Now they're saying that they would like to stay for this entire time, and I'm going to say yes for us all. Thank you for staying. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for loving us. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to come back. Let's just stay here. Wiggle those toes, open those eyes, and just keep this energy going.
have the most soothing voice.
Yes. Maybe it's just like those meditations, fall asleep to this.
You fall asleep.
I would fall asleep.
Yeah. That was exciting.
That was neat.
I know, like, hey. Good morning. I know.
And that's way better. What was I thinking? I don't know what I was thinking. That's way better. We need that. Right?
Especially when it takes so much. It takes so much. We're adults. Like, we're adulting all the time. You know, it just, like, all right, this is who we are.
We're just working, we were just making dinner or whatever,
Yep,
and then,
yep.
okay, now we're here, and it's like, okay, wait.
You feel it change.
Yeah. It's neat.
Yeah, so it was really neat to kind of experience both this time, because usually, you know, we do start, so we can really feel the difference, right?
Yeah, really. It was really chaotic. Really noticing how chaotic the energy was, you know, when we first started. Because everyone was in there, not like there was anything wrong, but yeah,
No,
excited.
yeah,
and
sure.
Everyone's in their own wet space, and yeah.
I know, I'm just like, hey.
It was neat though, because, you know, when you were doing that, they were, you know, have you ever had the experience when they're talking to you simultaneously, right, at the same time? So like they were talking to me as she was sharing stuff, right? And they were saying, well, they were telling me, you know, what's your intention? And I said, well, I want to help and I want to share information. And then they took a key and they unlocked this. And then they showed me that that's what that is.
Did you hear me coughing?
Yeah.
I thought that was cool too. Yeah.
My throat was
It's like,
like, I
there
was
you
like,
go.
I thought I was gonna have to get up and I'm like, it's something I got sick. It's like, I was gonna have to be my.
Huge chills.
I know. I
Yeah.
was like, whoo, that's blocked.
What do you gotta say?
I know. We'll find out. So I got my lot of.
Yeah.
Yes, you do
No,
those
okay.
channels for sure. And I feel like was really poignant because in some ways, you know, these paintings are teachings for me too. I mean, just like, so I get information, but I'll get information 6 months from now, aspects of this painting, just because it's like a terabyte of information, really, you know, and we can only scratch the surface because it really is experiences or ways of being or what's that?
Sorry, it's just saying. It's good.
Goosebumps, nice. So, because the title of this is Dream. So in some ways they do want us to dream right now, meaning really that uncontrolled, like childlike dream. And that was a hard thing for me because it's been a long time since I was a child. And though I like to say that I'm childlike, it's still like where you can really like without any limitation. Now I could pretend and do that, but I don't believe it, right? I'll be like, well, I'll just do this and this, but then I still hear that voice inside my head, right? Saying, well, we can't afford that, or right, or he's in college, he's going to be in college, whatever. Those limitations are still there, right? So in some ways, though, they're really saying go to that childlike play where you can really allow yourself whatever it is that you want, truly have that freedom and have that sense of flow. Partly because the energy is so intense right now to really see these things to where they're going to grow exponential, like bigger than you could ever imagine. So if you want success in business, you got it. You want to have, you know, your purpose, your life purpose, or whatever it is, your relationship with spirit, whatever, or yourself, like they're like, hey, this is happening. Even though it's tense energy, that's the dichotomy of it. It's like, well, it doesn't really feel like a time to dream. It feels like a time to hide. That bunker's looking real good. Not this. I don't have a bunker. My bunker is going to be like in a tree.
Same.
Yeah, right. Just make it work. No?
Oh, good.
Okay.
They totally had me somewhere else. But
Yeah. Where did they get where? You want to-
no, go
Okay,
ahead. You're
got
fine
it.
later. See.
So, though this is entitled Dream, one of the major messages that came through was other sentient beings from other planets, like I can hear them, right? They're helping with this ascension process because they've done this, meaning really learning how to integrate the ego, really learning how to love the shadow. The shadow aspect of a human experience is not disappearing. It's not what this is about. It's shifting our relationship with darkness. It's shifting our why it's here. Duality is part of the physics of this physical reality on earth. So in that way, it's not like where heaven on earth is, it no longer has a negative aspect. It's like saying that they're in a magnet, there's no more negative polarization. We need the negative polarization just like we need the positive polarization, but our relationship with it has been really young. It's been really kind of immature, meaning, we're killing each other or whatever, like it's silly. In some ways, if you can imagine 1,000 years from now, we'll have the consciousness where we would never hurt another human being or something else with a life force because we really honor the life force within our own being. It's more of an enlightened state of, right? It's not that it doesn't exist. It's honored. It's just not chosen as in the way or an expression in the way that it was or has been. And that's partly why it's such a huge transition for us, is because that primal part of our brains and our human experience and in our cells for the last so many 50, 60,000 years has been this warlike experience. And so we're really this primal kind of animalistic kind of surviving kind of mentality, and we're shifting out of that. And so to do that is doing all the work that you guys are doing, which is you're taking responsibility, you're owning it, and then you're loving the heck out of it. Meaning, hey, I really have a lot of anger for that person. I don't know why that trigger's happening. I take responsibility. It's not them, it's me, right? And you're transforming it. And that's how you're shifting from this animal kind of brain into this more conscious space. And the entities this week, these other sentient beings, said as much as our primal part of our brain is activated right now in our fight, flight, or freeze. So if you have unresolved trauma, you're triggered, those triggered responses are going to be really highlighted this entire month. It's kind of like that. Honestly, this year is about that. But at the same time that's highlighted, this other divine spark is also activated. And so really that's what this month is about, is this divine spark, because you can focus on one or the other. And there's going to be times when you need to focus on the triggered responses because those parts of yourself need to be nurtured. There also is opportunity this month for you to recognize that the divinity within on a scale that you've never had an opportunity to experience before. So that's there too. So that's like, oh, okay, thank you, because we needed some. Okay, right? It's been heavy. Not yet, huh? Okay. She's like, I'm just getting downloads. I'll let you know. I'll check in. She's like, tap my shoulder.
It's quite a big bone.
To what?
It's quite a big bone to chew.
Oh,
They're giving us a
bone.
bone. They're giving us a bone. I don't know why they're giving me an animal analogy, but I'm gonna roll with it. But they're
Like a
giving
dog
us
bone?
like a dog bone. Yeah, they're giving us a bone. We got a
Like in
bone.
the Fred Flintstone, big bone.
Maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
that a bone. I don't know. Anyway, you can feel that. You can know that. And in our humanness, in that survival, we really do forget these other parts of our being, this divinity. And I'm going to invite you to just hold that for a minute, because this is so much more than the words that could ever come out of my mouth, because it is multidimensional. It is a feeling. It is in the imagination of knowing that all things are possible. When you were younger, you didn't care what some of those limits were. And maybe you did if somebody invalidated them and you experienced trauma. For the most part, though, in freedom, we could imagine anything. I mean, Santa Claus existed everywhere, and you never knew he could just come down and bring you a present at any time. And how fun that was. And Santa didn't really ever bring me a present except on Christmas time, but I could still hold that or imagine it. Now it sounds kind of funny, but that's the kind of stuff. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about tomorrow because there's going to be a miracle. I don't even know what it is, but it's going to be a miracle and I'm so excited. That's the energy that they're inviting us to cultivate. Can you imagine that that's a possibility? Yes. Now, it cannot just exist in the thinking self. We are a multidimensional being with heart, a voice, and a body, and a spirit. We utilize all of those things. What would that really be like to imagine a miracle is coming tomorrow? and then do it again tomorrow, and then do it again tomorrow. And I do invite you, this is what I mean. Feel this. Don't just think about it. Feel it. Imagine that Santa Claus is real. Like, that's really what I'm saying to you.
Do you remember? I don't know if you guys ever,
Excitement.
even if you
Oh my
celebrated that, but yeah, the excitement and just the
Anticipation.
possibility.
Back you know, even magic and like there's gifts in your house and.
Yeah.
Exactly. All these ways. You know, that somebody's just going to drop $10,000 in your hand. Just, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This I got chills on that too. So thank you. This is the energy that we're being invited into. Noticing as we hold this right now, what are you hearing in your own self? How are you talking to yourself about this? Because if you can hold that for a nanosecond, that frequency is so flippin' high. It has filled with so much love. It infiltrates so much darkness and moves it right out of the way. For 1 second, this is this divine spark. This is what I mean. We have so much help here right now. We have so much help. I've been saying that every month all year. But this is what it means. It's saying, hey, more so than in the future, you have access to this divinity within. And it's on steroids right now. It's got the atomic energy bomb behind it. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Did you want to say that?
No, they're talking to me right now. I'm just joking. I was trying to do what you did, but it's not the same. Sorry. I'll let you know when I'm ready. I don't know.
Are you hearing me on the thing, the divine spark?
Yeah, I heard you.
All
I
right.
wasn't going away. I wasn't going too far with that.
All right.
You know, she's talking about that frequency, right? The frequency of like tapping into that feeling, right? And in another way, or putting that in a different way, this is about your voice, clearly, right? It's all about throat. So it is about your throat. It's about your authentic expression. And they were really trying to say, hey, your authentic expression, okay, what is that really? But if you're aligning that with your heart and dreaming, right, you kind of get in this, but it's your heart. So it's really who you are. It's like, it's unashamedly you, right? So, you know, you could almost be like, hey, yeah, this is what I'm dreaming of. I want to go to Switzerland and, you know, ski down the mountain or something, or go to a
What do they do? in
nudist
Switzerland?
club. I don't know. I was thinking of Brenda always wants to get naked and want to do this.
I will not get naked.
That's
On a
what's when
mountain.
it's cold.
It's
Yeah,
not there.
she'll have snow pants on for sure. But just unashamedly, like just be you being you. And when you can align your heart with what you're saying. And so even though it is about dreaming and speaking, it's like they really wanted to show us the power of our voices, not only because it's the one piece of us that's breaking this dimension. Like this is the part of our being besides when we fart, when we make sound with our bodies. You know, this is the main way we're breaking into this physical reality, right? You with me? With it. You get what I mean? Well, you
I
can't do
got
it
the
down
pun.
there. That's what I'm
I
saying.
got the-
She's fine.
What's that?
So she's naked and she's talking.
Well, we're just trying to make it real. Okay, really relatable. But if you think about it, we're breaking into this dimension, right? With our voices. It's kind of crazy and kind of deep, you know, and they're saying this, so it's all about the throat chakra. So it really is, though I don't want to get into the heavier stuff yet. It is about just aligning that with your heart. So is it transparent? Is it an easy flow? Is what I'm feeling and thinking what I'm saying? Right? And that takes practice, because really sharing how you feel or what you're thinking, you know, that takes practice. And it has with it a specific frequency. And that's really what they were sharing too. You know, more and more, even scientifically, they've proven, we've talked about this in another Messages from the Universe, where the frequency of authenticity is stronger than love or peace or harmony. in a way, what they're saying, it's almost like it has this real oomph to it, right? It's almost like they were explaining it like it's like action-filled, compassionate love. It's like that's what your voice is. And so it's like 3 different dimensions combined into one movement, right? Instead of just feeling love or at peace, it's like when you use your voice and this authenticity, it has with it this immense power. And so as we connect to it and align ourselves with our hearts and having this be that fluid and transparent, right? It becomes stronger and stronger. Where'd you go?
Perfect. Yeah. Any questions? Want to go into questions or? No?
Sure.
No, where did you want to go?
Well, I really wanted to say, before we move into questions, because if you guys have questions, please ask, is our throats, our throats are really important, but this is also very vulnerable. It's such a very vulnerable space. And just being mindful that what's happening in the planet, what's happening this month for us, is really they want us to look and think about our throats and basically our like honesty. Are you honest? Right? Are you really being honest with yourself, with others? And who can you share how you really feel and think? Who can you do that with? And who can't you do that with? Because it's going to be a moment here where, and they're really just inviting us to keep pulling the people that really allow you to have that authentic expression, pull those people closer. And the people that don't allow you to, or they shut it down or they invalidate, it's about boundaries. Because in some ways, it's almost like a microcosm of the universe where you are creating not only like a sacred temple within you, right? So is your internal voice, is that aligned with your heart or love, right? So we have to start here. Because this year and moving on into the next, they say, well, you said 6 years.
6 years till 30.
Is about really learning about the self, and not in a selfish way, meaning mastering the self, learning how to take care of that, creating that sacred temple within. When you're by yourself, when you're in that stillness of winter, when you're by yourself in your house, how's your relationship with yourself? Right. It takes practice though, right? And it takes discipline.
And what is authenticity? What is vulnerability? These are all the buzzwords, right? Because that is loving the self unconditionally, allowing it to be free to be itself, whatever it is in any given moment, because our authentic self changes constantly. It's not one thing, it's a billion. And then you throw something else at me and I'm going to give you another part of it. That's normal. That's what healthy is. One of the things that is really coming up for me in my private sessions is the internal self-talk. If you have a critical self, you gotta stop, number one, and you gotta reconcile with that part of you. Because if you're causing abuse or harm to yourself, hold on, let me just frame this in a way that your words and that conversation that's going on is causing even more harm than it might have a moment ago. The energies have shifted in such a way that those things matter more now. They do. So if you're not aware of how you're talking to yourself and it's out of balance, meaning it's abusive or mean to yourself, you will notice it because your being will kick back at you hard. Whether it's something going on in your body, oh, my back hurts. I'm gonna ask you, are you supporting yourself? Right? What's going on with your knees or your hips, like all these kind of conversations. So
why are you pointing out all the things that are going on with me, man? I'm just messing. But the body is a beautiful mirror. If you have anxiety, that's typically moments when that internal self-talk is, you might not notice it. And that's the hard, this is where, if it's subconscious, it's hard, it's tricky. Because it's like you might not be conscious of it. But I've noticed with myself, with my own anxiety, if I'm having anxiety, I've been really getting better at noticing that there's a voice inside my head that's creating stress for me. And where is it? What is it saying? Why is it making me feel this way? Right?
Because like talking isn't just words, right? It's an energy. I can say really nice words, but if I'm glaring at you the whole time and I'm like, I mean, like it's not gonna work, right? That's exactly. It's not authentic.
Right.
It's not real. And we do see some of that sometimes. Oh no, I'm being very practical and logical. And I mean, you just want to like punch them in the face, just like
Okay. Violence.
it doesn't ever help. Don't do it ever. I truly would never. But I can think about it. I can fantasize about it, right? That's my authentic self in the moment. And I'm sure that's going to change and shift and grow. But being real in the moment, if I'm honest about that. Yeah. Because it dysregulates me. I feel uncomfortable. I feel unsafe. And I want to call that person out, but then I don't want to call that person out because they're not aware. And this is my internal self-talk. And that's okay. I can notice all those things and love all those parts. And then make a intentful, loving, compassionate choice. Say something like, it seems like you're having a hard day.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the reality of what's happening right now is that primal part of us, the part that is triggered because let's say you feel threatened on some level, whether it could be emotional, it could just be you no longer have any energy to give and somebody needed something from you and you just, maybe you go to pilots. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's almost like shifting a relationship with that. Not that hitting them would be okay, right? It's more about we really need to shift our relationship. We need to be honest that we're having these thoughts because we all are, right? So it's shifting a relationship with it. And all of our intentions, my intention, I can at least just speak for myself, is to align everything with love, right? Is to get back to love, whether it's loving myself or loving each other. And I know that's an intention I've set for decades. So, right, it's kind of like, what's your compass? In spirit saying your compass is your heart. And ideally, everyone is this divine spark. We are beings of love and light. And I think when you pull it all away, right, when you take away the trauma, right, that is everyone's intention. There was this Japanese fella, he was talking about a forest, and he was saying that, if you walk into a forest and you see that one tree is small or one tree is crooked and growing all weird and one tree doesn't have any bark and has just a few leaves, it's like you never would judge that tree because he doesn't have sun or other, like the sunlight's blocking here or there's bugs over there or whatever. You just would recognize their experience, the tree's experience for the tree's experience. And he's like, that's how we should treat each other, with that same kind of openness and compassion. Meaning, like, if you were in an environment where there was no light, how would you be?
And some people truly do experience that.
And then they're so angry or they're violent, right? Those are probably people that end up killing people.
Okay, so we just threw a lot at you. So what do we got? What are questions? It does not necessarily have to be about the painting or even what we talked about. Just anything that's come
Coming
up
up for this
as
month.
we've talked. Anyone online as well, of course, can ask questions and just even if you just want to share or being quiet today.
Question. So for dreams, and I put a lot of dreams.
That's a good question already, I can tell. Dreams, because dreams have been coming up crazy. Yeah.
They've been crazy, but so do you set your intention just before you're about to doze off of like what you want for your dreams or your intention while you're in your dream?
I mean, you can set your intention while you're in the dream. I mean, that's a master dream. I do it before I go to bed. But if you can do it during it where you have control of the dream and you're asking questions, yeah, for sure.
And then you're just like, I want to fly. Something like that. Do it.
Well, whatever you want, whatever, that's where, this is about you and your relationship with self. So what do you want? Yeah, fly. Do whatever you want. You know what I mean? There is no right or wrong. It's Yeah. Does that make sense? But dreams has everyone been dreaming like crazy?
Yes.
Mhm. Right? Like crazy.
Eclipse or like what, but like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, especially like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it is this energy shifting. And they said it's going to ease up a little bit, like it's going to we're going to really feel it after this month, like a huge almost reprieve. But so remember, was it last month? Oh no, it was in the retreat for the eclipse. They really did say that we're going to start really connecting to other dimensions. Like everyone's like, third eye is expanding, our intuitive abilities are expanding. So we're going to start really communicating and talking to other dimensions, other beings, wherever you are called to go, you'll go, or even talking to the earth, talking to the trees, you're going to start really hearing things talk back,
I have a question.
What's that? Yeah.
Do you have a question?
No.
Okay. So, like they say, certain people say, your life is like linear, right? Or you're stacked on top of each other, like you're living, like, is it like this life all at the same time, like you're experiencing it? So, and I was wondering, like in dreams, if you're experiencing that, like yourself, but in another part of your stack. So if you correct things or fix things in those, is that what that means? If you're like yourself or you're around people that you think you
It definitely
That
could
makes
be. Yeah, no, it definitely could be. In my opinion, and it's only mine, so I just invite you to just take it and then break it apart for yourself. That when that arises, it's often relevant to what you're experiencing in this experience, this life.
right.
So I found that they don't necessarily, because it's not relevant, right? This experience, this beautiful body, this vessel, it's not relevant to other lifetimes.
Right.
Unless it is, unless you're overlapping with something, you're learning something, you're remembering something about yourself. So it's kind of to help you out is my opinion of that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was curious.
And you can do those kinds of things when you're awake too. So just, keep on the journey, stay very open, and you'll be aware of more of those kinds of things. And again, I feel when you need it for yourself, for your higher self.
Yeah.
And especially now, because I do feel like that's part of what's happening in the energies too, is that they're overlapping. And so we have an awareness of it. That's part of that too. So you're kind of like, I have no idea, but I'm just really upset all day, or maybe you want to cry or whatever. And there is a potential that it is something else in a different timeline.
Yeah. That's what
It's
it's trippy.
trippy. Yeah,
It is weird.
it's trippy.
But cool.
I know my brain is like, yeah. Then you just like, okay. And but then I still feel that it's somewhat relevant to this lifetime, or I wouldn't be aware of it. I do feel that way too. Either I'm around somebody who was involved in that, so I'm reconciling it or something. That's just
Yeah. Cool.
I
good.
think what I am aware of other lives, right? Like, yeah, I'm aware of other lives, especially traveling, you can meet up with where you've been there before, you have remembrance of being in a forest, or you'll have feelings but I would say, just like Brenda is saying, this one life is hard enough. Yeah. And no, but it is totally fascinating. It is.
Yeah.
And
If it's like this life that you're dreaming about, but on a different timeline, and you're able to repair that, it makes this like better,
right,
right? Does that
exactly.
make sense? Okay.
In a way, we're constantly time traveling in that way where, when you ever having a memory in your childhood, right? You're having a memory of your childhood, you're having a flashback to your childhood, and you send that part, you get to a place of your consciousness where you can send that experience love and light, right? Or go back to your little child. And, they've proven that actually is healing the memory so much so to where it's like that trauma didn't exist. If you go back in time and just send or sit with your little self, even in your mind, and give them the love that they might not have had received, or creating the boundary that needed to be there that wasn't there. Like, you can do that. That is essentially what healing is. It is going through time, but they say that pathway to the past or to the future is in the now. So just even in being the now, we're constantly creating our future, right? So instead of just going backwards to the point, like let's send that out to the future and saying, hey, in the future, let's create all these loving and amazing experiences. Or I'm just partly seeding the idea of like, we do focus a lot on the past.
Right.
What about sending that to the future too? And that really is using our light, which is consciousness. So consciousness and light are the same word, right? We use our light or consciousness to send that intention forward as well and out.
With possibly what we talked about, that there's miracles every single day and it's so much fun. Right?
Yeah,
And this is what this is all about now. Exactly. You don't even know. I would invite you to not know specifically what that fun is. Just be very open-ended about the fun part so you can be surprised and really invite miracles in.
They're wanting me to say one more thing about, we are addicted to darkness in a way.
Like we gravitate more to it.
We're just addicted to it. We're used to it. So we're used to struggle. We're used to putting our bodies in a flight or freeze response with what we eat, with what we drink.
Yeah, comfortability with it.
Right. And there is this physicalness where we
We know what to do there. We're incredibly comfortable in that victimization paradigm. It is incredibly addictive. It's challenging to break that cycle, even with generational traumas. Letting those patterns and those systems go. So in a moment of like fear or love, this is why we preach so much this same simple thing. It's so profound and so deep because it goes down to everything. Are you choosing that fear or are you choosing love? So we're comfortable. We like being afraid because then what do we do to cope with that fear? It's very addictive.
And it could just be a simple pattern, a simple habit of like, well, I don't want to go in that neighborhood, so I'm going to drive this way home. I mean, it could just be you're just so used to going this way to where every time you do it, you're like, yep, this is a bad road. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. Mind you that this road has healed. Let's say new people moved in. It's actually beautiful and amazing. Right. But you're still going here because you still have a belief system that this is bad. Right.
That goes along with a lot of things in life.
I'm going to scroll on Facebook instead of showing up for how I'm feeling today. I'm going to
Okay.
binge watch a bunch of
She's calling out.
Oh,
Everybody out today. She was pointing right at you. She was yeah, she was going.
Do you think we're hiding from ourselves like?
Oh,
I think a lot of people are,
1,000%.
yes.
Thousand
Always,
percent.
but a lot of it
Balance
is.
for sure. I know you too. You're cultivating this relationship with yourself and you spent time there. All in balance. So yes, as long as you're doing that. For the most part though, we're using substances that numb us out. Okay, so there's so many things, whether it's caffeine or coffee or alcohol or whatever. And again, there's no judgment. I love wine. I love it. No judgment, all in balance. I'm still going to feel the feels. I'm still going to be mindful of that my body needs to exercise, that I need to be uncomfortable, that I love to love my authentic self. And hold on, they really do want to flesh this out today.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is really interesting. So hold on, because they want me to say something specific. I know it does kind of feel like a calling out because that is what it feels like. It feels like there really is a much different way of functioning that you're not really aware of. And that I just got a yes. Yes. And that's why the archangels are here today. I have to say, we've been doing this for 10 years. I've never even done that. That is the coolest thing. I'm gonna do it all the time. I don't know if you guys can still feel this, but I see them all working on you. I'm they're just working on your body. I know. I'm why have I not done that? We're because you weren't ready to have all of us in one space. That's literally what they say, which is so cool. But they're showing me that there's another system of functioning, that's what this is about. It's a system of function. Those are my words. I love systems of functioning, examine that. And that victimization paradigm is a system of functioning. So if we can Okay, tell me more. What is it? They say it's similar to what they've said to me in the past about it's like being on vacation every day and winning the lotto every day. That would be your closest energy of that. If you could truly know that that's available to you, what would that mean to your functioning? I mean, it really would mean that there are nothing to worry about. You're on vacation every day, so you get to pick where, whatever, and then you have plenty of money because we love to worry about money here.
And that's what I mean by addicted to it, or we like darkness or whatever. I mean, those are really heavy words, but it's like being on vacation every day, right? I have a belief system that I'm moving through and I'm releasing today. Thank you. That I really have value equates to receive money. It has to have value, and for it to have value means I have to work hard. And working hard usually means deny myself some kind of something, compromise myself on some level, whether it's sleep or whatever. And I'm addicted to that. And that I'm addicted to that feeling. So there's so many layers here. I'm addicted to what that feels like. That's my definition of work and exchange. That's not anymore. I'm moving from.
And I
But
want
it's
to
a
flesh
perfect
this out.
example.
It's a perfect example because I want you to think about this. So Wendy is given this energy, this opportunity to say, hey, listen, you don't have to work hard. How about this free money, this free abundance, this free
It'll
everything?
feel like that to me.
Immediately her being is going to go, no, I can't do that. I'm not worthy of that.
Right. And so there's
Nothing's
all
free.
these layers to it. And in that way, they would say, and they're showing me my body and my being really likes all of those hard things. Just like it likes the victimization, it likes the what's the word? Deprivation of some form. Like
I can't remember. There's some theory out there that I've been researching lately, and it's about the secondary, what does she call it? The secondary opportunities of trauma. So we take something like money, let's say, because that's coming up, and we like to worry about it because we have fears and traumas around it, right? But the secondary outcome is, for example, that Wendy has control over it coming in so she can feel more safe. So if she can reconcile that secondary outcome, if that's even one of them, because there could
that's
be
a good
many,
one.
then you reconcile, actually, I'm safe all the time, and practice integrating that every moment of every day, or right?
Right.
No, really, I'm safe. And just focus on the safety, not having the conversation of money, that moves you out of that system of functioning. Because you've reconciled that secondary outcome, because that's what that system of functioning is. That's
That's
all
what kept
coping
me
mechanisms.
keep going in there is really my need to feel safe. But it's also an identity thing. You know, for me to be in abundance, I am no longer a person that has any money issues, right? I'm no longer a person that struggles. I mean, I have identified as that part of myself for decades. I've identified myself as that person. So it could be, wherever your thing is. How long have you been holding on to these stories? Right? So,
Long time.
right, long time.
That's crazy because just how it's come through to me recently is you were given a suitcase and it has your name on it. So you carry it everywhere you go. And you're carrying the suitcase and you never stop to open the suitcase. What's inside it? Does it belong to me? Do I even like it? Do I even want it? Does that fit me? Like, do I want to be a person with money issues? No, I just picked it up. Someone said my name is on it. I have to carry it everywhere I go.
Right.
But what if I open that suitcase and start looking at it and say, I don't want to carry those money issues anymore. I don't want to carry that with me. It doesn't fit who I am now. We're carrying all these things that were given to us that half the time, like, you can name that. I know for myself, I can't name half the things because they're just in the suitcase and I never even looked at them. So I don't even know what I'm carrying. I was just told to carry it with me. So that's what I found recently is when something comes up, I'm like, does that even resonate with my, do I feel authentic with that? Does that feel
Does
like,
it resonate with me?
yeah. Is that what I want anymore? And if I say no, then I put it down. I don't want that anymore. I'm going to release that. So that's the work in progress of where I am. It's like, when I'm carrying it, do I even want to own it?
It's cool. It's a good analogy.
Yeah, so that's how I got it with a suitcase.
Yeah.
I got it different. quickly. Cause I'm a forced out early retirement person. And I have a retirement at the company that I worked at. And also I'm at social security age to get it. And the other day, this past week, I was looking to see what my benefit would be from my company for this money. And I'm sitting there, it's like, why won't I apply for this money? I worked hard for this money. Why is it sitting there? It could be within, for me to make my dreams or make me happier, even, to do more. And I think this week, I think I'm gonna fill out the form. And Social Security, I'm looking where January 1, I have full Social Security. But here I am, I'm not working, well, I'm doing a fun job. I'm really working at a needle point store. But here is Social Security sitting there. And the difference between, for example, if I start in July and not wait till January, it's like $100 or $75. Why am I not taking something I worked hard for again? Deny myself for no purpose at all. And I'm letting money control me. And I don't want to be that person. And it's something has come within me to say, don't wait, do this. This will make you happier, and then to be here tonight and here.
I know, right? So if we had any doubts, it's truly how magical this is. If you have any doubts, just keep showing up.
Yeah.
And you'll be given.
I like quit my job and I had $60 in my wallet, right? I went and got myself some Bliss Nutrition, got my body some goodness, went to go buy my dog some bones from the store, and on the way, because they looked like some Randazzo's, they're really good for them. And on my way, there was this refugee family on the corner. And this poor guy had a tiny little baby and 3 young kids. And I've never given money to homeless before, and I just took the money out of my wallet, $20, and I gave it to him. And my whole body just started vibrating and tingling. And I'm like, oh my God, let me just give all my money. It was amazing. And then just things are coming. It's just fucking, if I don't live like I'm in need and I'm like, I gotta squirrel this away and count every fucking penny I have, then it's just been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge part of your shift.
The few goosebumps.
Yeah.
It was so wonderful.
And it's what is gonna be crazy is like when you don't do stuff so that you get stuff, but what I've noticed is if your natural self tells you to do something, do it. And then it's not like I'm looking for something, but then all of a sudden your life starts to improve and improve and improve. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You're just giving back. And all of a sudden.
Because you're like, well, if this guy's some money, he's gonna go buy some rack or
Right.
something.
But you could
But
feel
these
a different
people,
vibe
they're
on
like-
them.
You could tell he wasn't trying to beg, and he waved at my dog in the car, and I was like, take all my money. It's your fault so bad. It's not their fault they're in that situation.
Let's just, let's take a moment and just send that family some love and light. May they understand the worth, the value that they have, and that they're allowed to have all their needs met. They can let go of the stories that they're holding, because you can see what stories they're holding. And they can let those go too. So
So it is.
it's good conversation. I did want to just add, and we're going to go on break here. So, is they were on my way driving is just what?
Change the format.
Oh, we did?
This one.
What was the format? What's the new format?
Remember, so
What are we gonna
we
do?
probably have like 15, 20 minutes.
And then are we reading for
Yeah,
people still?
at the very end.
Yeah, okay.
So just, I didn't want you to feel pressure, so please tell us your story.
Oh, yeah. I'm currently painting a painting, and when I'm painting a painting,
It's like huge, it's like that. It's like,
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Okay.
not
I'm
quite that
like-
big, but
I'm like there.
yeah.
you know, so I'm like,
I could
here.
tell she forgot that we
I'm
were.
just like, what are we doing? And who are we? What's my name this time? Okay. No, really, it can get weird in my brain, man. All right, anyways, what was I saying? Yes. So I have time.
Yes.
So another thing that they wanted to share with everyone is how important it, partly because I am moving through this, so I'm very aware of it, but it's about receiving. And receiving is a huge theme, not only for this month, it's something that really, I feel like, well, then they're saying to me right now, human beings in general have a hard time in this space. You know, there is a lot of conditions and rules around giving. And in this way, it's been really damaged and abused. Giving. Though giving like that, free of your heart, you're talking about healthy giving and loving giving. That's beautiful. But part of giving is receiving. And in receiving, that's a hard thing for most people. Because in receiving, you're very vulnerable. And where do you feel safe to actually allow yourself to receive? Now, for me, that's only by myself in the forest. Right? I mean, then I can let my guard down and I feel safe enough to allow myself to let go, maybe cry or let love in, or what. I'm just being very honest, right? And moving that into spaces where, you know, her and I have healed that, where, you know, she's one of my safe people, where I feel safe enough to receive from her. But that took a long time. Because, like, what do you want? What does that mean? Are you going to use it against me later? Right?
And that's part of our trauma.
That's part of our
Right.
trauma, it is.
And so, again, letting go of the suitcase or letting go of the thoughts. I mean, that's what this is all about. But this receiving thing, like, Spirit's not backing down on this. It's an out of balance experience for most of us. And we all can't go around giving, you know, I mean, just some of that makes me laugh. Like, we're all trying to give, but nobody's willing to receive it. So we're all being rejected or abandoned constantly, or some version of that. It's just, we got to receive back. It's part of
It's
the
part of that circle.
experience of the circle. And it's also compliments. It's not just a physical action of money or time. It can be just receiving your goodness, knowing your value. It's those types of things. Receiving. We all told Wendy what a great person, you know, she was last month. You know, we just all just poured her, showered her with all these compliments. And it was a little bit uncomfortable. And she shared that with you guys, you know, just like owning that, like, oh my gosh, like, that's hard for me to hear. And then it's like, why? And I know for me, it's very much like that, like, where I'm like, oh my God, what do you want from me? What do you need from me? Are you trying to, like,
Am I supposed
get
to
me
be
to do
giving you
something?
more now?
Right.
Or,
Right. Am I supposed to be giving even more?
Is that considered ego?
or is that egoic? Right? And those
If
are
someone
the
gives
belief
you
systems.
something and you don't want it because of, like, it's like pride or ego, or it's like, I'd rather do this myself kind of a thing. They're along the same lines. Like, oh, here's
The
here's the
reasons
house.
why.
And I'm like, I'd rather do it myself and get my own house than have you give me one. Is that like your ego? Or I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah, give me that house. You know what
I mean, the ego's not a bad thing. It's a little more complicated than that. I mean, with something specific, you do want to see if it feels right. I'm not saying just receive whatever if it doesn't align with you. But yeah, in that way, in the way I think that you mean it, our egos are trained to be uncomfortable, meaning I'm in survival, so I can't be enough because I'm never enough. Don't you understand? This is what my ego might be saying. I'm never enough. So I'm striving. I'm in survival. I'm working hard to prove that I'm enough. That would be an old pattern that I've let go of. Yes. Because in this journey, in this work, part of what I'm doing is I'm letting my ego know, hey, by the way, that's bullshit. And no. I'm letting go of the suitcase. No. Nope. I get that that's how we felt. And so the thing is, I'm wanting you to look for all the ways that everybody loves us all the time. My ego's like, what? What am I doing? Yes. Everyone loves us. I need you to find the evidence. Thank you so much. Show me how everybody loves me and supports me.
Here's a house.
Here's a house. You know, whatever. But
Let's all like manifest that for a minute.
Oh, someone's going to give you a house?
I love it. love it.
Over here in the.
Yeah, right. Go around the circle with everyone.
Take that. The way we came, I'll take that one. We took Jefferson on the way. We went past on the coast.
Oh, that's nice.
Beautiful houses now.
Has everything to do with this painting, receiving. It is about the breath, right? We're wanting to expel all the time, but we're never wanting to inhale. I mean, and that would be ridiculous, right? But that's really what we're doing. And so it really, how everyone says it comes back to the breath. It really does come back to the breath. Those people were right, whoever, those yogis. But it is about, allowing yourself to breathe in and feel safe enough to do that. It's all connected. And it is about checking in with yourself and doing all the things that we talk about, like really going within and seeing if it resonates with you. If it, what did you say was it resonates? If it resonates with you, does it feel right to receive from this? Is it safe? Is this a safe situation for me? Whatever, right? You get all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But breathing, receiving. And they did say everybody that's here tonight needs to work on receiving.
Oh, that's great. That would be us too, by the
That's
way.
us
I'm
too.
just like gonna laugh about that. Yeah, totally.
I mean, there is, it's when we say we're shifting into a new paradigm, that's part of the paradigm. We grew up and our parents grew up in generations where, you to be independent. We're one of the only cultures that, you don't live at home. You need to be, and then you're shamed if you have a need. You're shamed if you have a need. Hey, can you help me move? No, what's wrong with you? Why would you go pay somebody to do that? Hey, can you grab that glass? You're pretty good at that. She'll go pick, get my shoes or my phone. Sorry, that was an inside joke. Anyways,
Anything
sisters.
else though? I mean, yeah, because this is a really big conversation and I feel like it's been a lot of really big conversations lately from Spirit, but it's a good one.
So yeah, just thinking about that, where could you receive more? Where could you feel safe? Who do you feel safe enough to start asking? And if you can't with people, right? Yeah, because that's hard. That's a doozy. Start asking, at least with Spirit. Maybe
That's an
with your
element of these
pets.
miracles is receiving them, right? Choose the miracles and receive them. It is demanding that they come true. I mean, if you can know and demand, watch what happens.
Go ahead.
I was going to say with the receiving, do you think so I would say, in my opinion or for personal experience, I think some of that comes with the boundaries. And because your balance of giving and receiving is often those boundaries aren't set. So you're giving more than you're receiving. So that really aligns with the boundaries that we set out there of not,
For
letting
sure.
people push on those boundaries of your giving. When you set those boundaries, you allow that space to receive.
Yeah, so in some ways, I feel like you're saying, so correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying step one would be noticing and then creating boundaries. And then basically you're creating a space for you to receive in a healthy way.
Yeah.
But boundaries was first.
Yeah, because if you have that, it's got to be a balance
Tendency
of
to
the give
overgive.
and receive. And if there's people that are pushing against those boundaries, and so your giving is out of line, then when you push those boundaries back and say, no, I don't have the space to give that much, then you open up the space, I think, to allow receiving too. At least that's kind of like what was coming in for me, because there's definitely a give imbalance with me. So I think it does have something to do with that. You have to know your worth and set the boundaries so that you're able to receive. Maybe.
And receiving could just be giving yourself a bath, right? You can give, you can start by just taking care of yourself, right? Listening to your own rhythm. I'm tired. Will you let yourself receive? How many times do we don't even let ourselves, it's those basic needs. You're hungry. Well, you'll eat in 3 hours.
And that's really what I would want for all of us to do when we're scrolling on Facebook and binge watching shows. It could be that feeds you, that
It's some
gives you
downtime
something.
and
You could be receiving in that experience. you just want to be honest and make sure that that you're not engaging in a dialogue or internal self-talk, or maybe you're comparing yourself to others, or I don't know. You're the only one who can say. Just being able to authentically show up, because if we don't show up and we're just robots, then we're almost converting to that victimization paradigm that Spirit's trying to help us out of. That makes sense.
I want to say, since I've been seeing you guys and I've set boundaries and I've had situations come up, these two girls right here, they give me so much and I've learned to receive. And I trust them not to hurt me. And they never let me down. And that includes you too. That's my cousin. And I don't see you a lot. But gosh, when I see you, I know you'll never hurt me. And I know you will always hug me. And it's so good. I feel so lucky that I have this little bunch of people. I trust them totally, and they know they won't hurt me, and they're always going to be there for me.
Yeah, it's been
Tell
really
the truth.
neat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. No, it's been like seriously like so joyful and such an honor to watch the three of you really just be so effortlessly, I don't know, comfortable and just have no guard with each other. Like, you guys are amazing. I sing your praises all the time. Yes. So nice. Like, this is it. Like, right? It's like, yes.
You know, a lot of that is what you taught us.
Wow.
It is. And I tell you that all the time, and you're like, no, you do the work. I'm like,
You do the work. I don't do the work for you.
Receive. Receive.
Welcome. And in that way, there's no one person that can know more about you. And so, like, I get it. It is a fine line. I do need to receive, and you're welcome. And you are the one who has to make that choice. No person outside of us, I don't care how famous or how big they are, they don't know more about us than we do ever. So yeah, that's just why I have a little internal like dilemma with that, because you are the expert. You're the one that did the work. Nice job.
well, I thank you for teaching us and showing us, or whatever you do.
I just love you. I love you. I love you all. Like, yeah, exactly. We're just being,
Opening us up
to.
Yeah.
yeah. This is the cult.
Drink the
Good,
Kool-Aid.
but it reminds us, right?
That's what I keep saying.
We get here and we remember, we're like, right, this is what it means to be safe. And we learn ways to communicate. We learn ways to have healthy boundaries. We remember. That's why this is so important. So it takes all of us.
And you can do that because you guys have created a safe space. So you can take the thanks for that, because we're all obviously individuals that need it and gravitate to people that give it, and you give us that space.
You guys radiate like.
Yeah. So you give us the space to feel safe, to be able to bring it back to the,
It's that authenticity, I think. There's just the realness, the authenticity. It's like, when somebody's BS.
Yeah, 100% for you guys is authentic. I would definitely say number one that we feel.
Yeah.
So then we're okay to be.
Yeah.
Your authentic
or-
self.
Exactly. Yeah,
Beautiful.
100%.
And know that you're always receiving what it is that you need. So, and like in the moment, if in the present moment, you are always really getting what you need. Just throwing it out there. I don't know. I didn't want to reshare that. Maybe we're going to read for some people, and it's going to be important.
No, we're
What?
interesting.
You hold the Our first part of the thing, we're just going to read for people. Basically, we pull your name. You guys are all open to it. I'm
Oh,
assuming.
very.
Put everyone's name in it, and then we'll just share what Spirit wants to know. But if you have something to say, if you have any specific questions, you can ask. I didn't say the name yet. If you want to say it.
Jennifer.
Hey. I mean,
Does it surprise you?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When I was saying that, like you're always getting what you need, I could feel you, so it doesn't surprise me that I probably pulled you close. Get on the chair. Like you need to fill back up. You're tired, you know. Yeah. And just like allowing this energy to just fill you back up. And even though it's could put you to sleep in some ways, just letting that be enough and letting that be okay. Like that's okay, you know. You're allowed to be tired and you're allowed to, and wherever you are is exactly where you're meant to be. That's that authentic voice. But that being said, and you're just tired, man. Whew.
It really feels like you've been one of the ones who have been poked with things that aren't working lately. And so really owning that and taking responsibility for that so that you can let those things change. It wasn't meant to help you suffer. It was really just to highlight in case you had doubts that these things could work or would work or whatever. And I feel like you know what I'm talking about. Like I definitely feel very strongly like, no, it's, yeah, like I see you and it's time to change. And I really feel like you don't need to know how to change it. You just need to know right now that they need to change. That's going to be enough. And then honestly, the universe is going to take care of it. Like you really don't have to worry about it. Very powerful, like don't worry about it. It's all going to unravel and take care of itself. You needed to know that you were willing to let go of the suitcase. I'm going to use that. You had to let these things go. That's what it feels like. But
It does feel like death a little bit, you know, where there is like either your ego, your brain, or you wanted it to go a certain way or whatever. And so there's a little bit of grief in there because it's different than you thought. And allowing yourself to have that experience of the grief, you know, yeah, because that's a real thing. Even though, let's say, even the identity thing, you know, is like shifting out of not like letting myself be abundant or whatever. There's a death in that. There's a death whenever we let go of a reality. There's a death when, you know, you're saying goodbye or things are not what you were thinking that they were going to be. It's like there's a death in that. And there is a level of grief, and in really allowing yourself to explore that, like what the F, why, or what, or whatever, letting your authentic experience, because, but really beyond that, if we can just move that part of your psyche over the side, because it's kind of loud, but moving the part of your psyche, you're just kind of a spitfire a little bit. Just moving that part to the side, know that it's so much better than you think. It's going to be so much better in the end. It's kind of like you can't see certain things, meaning like it was going to tax your energy, or it was never going to be able to be sustainable, whether or not you understand that logically. And I feel like us as humans, we want to know why, like, why isn't it doing what I wanted it to do? Or why isn't it turning out the way? Or why isn't it this person? Or why? And we get caught up in there, and spirit is always just like, we don't need to necessarily know why. You can stay there as long as you want to try to unravel it, or you could just trust and move forward. And they're basically showing me just if you can learn to surrender, just we'd be moving very quickly into things in happiness quicker.
See that? Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it definitely feels like many miracles are here in the energy field of your world. And letting go of these things that no longer serve you is making space for them to come in. And it feels like, I want to say, be ready for the unexpected, which is interesting because, hold on, let me just feel into the unexpected. Because it feels like there's parts of you that makes you feel afraid or uncertain is the unexpected. And you're ready for this now. Okay. I don't know what this means, and they're not really, it feels like good unexpected, really, but very unexpected, which is so interesting. But they're really highlighting it because they're showing me how in this lifetime you've been, to help you feel safe and secure and to trust, things have been very pragmatic and they've given you lots of warning about this is going to come, this is going to crumble, this is going to come, and this is going to come over and over and over. And it doesn't feel like the energy is conducive for that because of how it has to work. It just feels very different. And so in that way, like honoring that your psyche is going to maybe freak out, but really to know that all this work you've been doing, like here and on yourself, it's for this, what's coming now. It's unexpected. Neat stuff. I know it feels so good. It's like random too. Just like, this and then this.
It kind of feels like that too. It's like all over the place.
Yeah.
Even today, like she's like, "You okay?" I'm like I'm dissecting, and then like 5 minutes later, I'm doing something else, and then I'm working on all the the stuff we're supposed to work on and on ourselves, and I'm like, ooh, it feels all funny, like
Yes.
deep shit.
I know.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel too. I'm just like, does anybody else get this? It's really weird, right? Like, I mean, I just feel like things are floating around. I'm like, what is the float? I don't know. I tried to explain it, but yeah, thank you. You did a much better job. Yes. Like, yes. But so fun, so light, so loving. Like, it makes me so happy. Like, it's so happy. And yes, it's letting go of these things. So it is this, like, they're both happening at the same time. Like, but I just got huge chills. But yes, miracles. And I love that you opened, because that means that's a similar message for everybody in the room. So thank you. Thank you for being our placeholder.
Do you have any questions? Sorry, I was so serious.
Oh, no.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay. Lisa.
Oh.
What? My girl.
You knew it, huh? Nice, guys. Right away, what I hear, like, because you got to receive, girl. You got to receive, like the message of receiving. And I'm holding you two accountable to help her out. You got to receive more. Like the energy of that message was no, too much giving, more. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Go ahead.
I mean, I feel relationship. I feel a relationship. You guys are like, yeah, okay. Okay. And it is about receiving. And so it's both, it's the same thing. It's like, if you want a relationship to work, the only way it's going to work is if you can learn how to receive. And that means making it about you, being able to advocate for yourself and keeping your center, but allowing yourself to take care of your needs and pissing them off. Meaning, like, if you need to have alone time because you just whatever and have to say no, but they're like a really squeaky wheel, it feels like they could be a very squeaky wheel. It's like you're going to have to say, you're going to have to say no, and they're just going to have to be a big boy, and they're going to have to take care of themselves. Okay. I mean, I don't even know.
I know you don't.
But I can feel that. It's like, so, but it is about that, because in that sense, you're receiving, and what you're doing is you're creating boundaries. It's like you are the wise one in that partnership. And the wise one has a very important role. It means you can't let the ones that want to be dysfunctional, out of balance, that's their natural state, is to not let them go, I mean, I wouldn't really want that relationship for myself, but like, thinking about that, you are the wise one. You know it's out of balance. You know that they need to take care of themselves. They're not going to want to, right? Because they have to do all the work that we're doing, which is they have to be present with themselves, and they have to face all their darkness or all of their fears or all their insecurities. And they're not going to want to, and they're going to try to be fed so hard outside of themselves, and they're going to fight for that because these are old behaviors. We're having to fight them. Can you imagine somebody who's not doing the work? Doing that, they're just like, why isn't this working? So they're going to work harder trying to be fed outside of themselves. So it's like, but you're the wise one, right? We are the way showers. We're going to show them the way, which means I know it's hard. I know it's uncomfortable, but you're going to have to say the words and be you. Can you be you in this space, please? I want to say that. Be you. You're not being you. Sorry. I don't know why. Your guys are really sassy. I never really poke you like this. but you're not really being you. But you know, just, otherwise it's not gonna be sustainable. Just, it won't work out. I mean, it won't, just for your own, because you deserve to, you've done so much work. You've done so much work and you deserve to be, you can't go backwards. You cannot not have a voice now, right? It's like,
Right.
and so in some ways it's helping you practice this, right? It doesn't mean, we don't have to go to the extreme of saying, hey, that just means that we're not meant to be because there's conflict now. I don't mean that. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, advocate, you know, be you, advocate, use your authentic voice, right? Share your vulnerability while creating boundaries, right? You teach them how to be in a healthy relationship. They don't know either, right? You figured some of the things out because of Brenda, and she's letting me talk probably because she sees you more I never see, but
I know. You don't know any of this, and you're just like, whoa.
does this resonate with you? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Well, partly they just really want you to know it's for other people in the room too.
Yes.
Just like, no, this is what it looks like. And you have to have these uncomfortable conversations. And some of that is old trauma, right? When you shared your voice, you were beaten down or you were rejected. And so you have to face your own stuff as you're moving through it. But it's not meant to be like, oh, well, they rejected me, so the relationship's over. It's not like that's almost like this black and white thinking. It's, you know, well, how would you treat me if I said something wrong to you and I made you mad or I didn't honor your boundary? You'd give me a second chance and you would trust me, just like your girlfriends. In some ways, they've really taught you how it would be with it, how it's meant to be with a sexual partner, intimate partner, sexual partner. Well, that's the only difference, right? I mean, it might be the only difference between your girlfriends. So I'd rather have sex. Is that what you said?
I'm talking about, you can say sexual partner, yes, not intimate.
No, she didn't really teach her this.
Not literally.
Oh my gosh, my name is killing me. You're killing me.
I get in this space, man. I don't know what's happening.
No.
Yeah, right. This is for a client, so. All right, good.
Yeah, I think, I can't believe that came through as hard as it did for you because I've been stepping up and setting boundaries and he's doesn't care. He's totally disrespecting all my boundaries. And it's just turning me into a person I don't like because I'm angry. And it's weird because now he won't leave me alone. And I'm like, you broke up with me. And because I don't know why. I felt at the time everything was great. He broke up with me and he said he wanted to be single. So immediately I felt I'm not enough. But I am enough.
Yeah, you are now.
Now he won't leave me alone. And I'm like, go away. You had your chance.
Yeah.
He's texting me tonight after days.
Natural game.
Right? What is that? I mean,
It's bullshit is what it is, man.
Yes.
Cut that out.
Sometimes it's weird, so that's the right.
On to the next
Yeah, it's
one.
like it's almost like a test in a way. Not like a test because Brenda hates that word, but but it's almost like it you know, spirit puts people in your past so you can actually apply the things that you've learned. Right? So they're going to trigger you like your mom, or they're going to trigger you like your ex-boyfriend or whatever. And, you know, they're going to show you, yep, I'm not going to respect you. I'm going to cross over all your boundaries. What are you going to do now? And what are you going to do when somebody completely
I'm
keeps
gonna make an appointment with Brenda.
Good answer.
right? Right. And so it's just an opportunity. That's why like life really does create the perfect thing for you, because this is what they're saying. So if somebody says, no, I don't care, it's about me. I'm just gonna So it's beautiful. It really is a beautiful opportunity because as soon as you choose you in this situation, because this is your past, as soon as you choose you in this situation, you change your past and you've changed your future.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll keep you on tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, these two are about ready to kick his ass. She's like, girl, don't even get me going, okay? She was memorized. Don't even.
You guys are good friends, huh?
Yeah.
That's good.
Aaron, is that you? Yeah.
My skin just got so tight.
You guys are hilarious, man.
We have to clean move, baby. No, come over there. It's nice when you can look right into their eye. Yeah.
Is that what you've been doing?
See it. No pressure.
Black ladies.
It's okay.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's time.
I'm gonna cry too.
It's time to be seen. That's more than just words. It's time to be seen. No one's gonna hurt you again. You gotta let that go. You gotta let down your guard. Let go of those suitcases. Okay. It's driving your bus. It's driving your life a little bit. I see you. You've been hurt. Ooh, you let me there and then you pushed me right off. That's okay. That's okay. Because I'll honor that. But I want this for you. Right? You've been postponing this.
Yeah,
Maybe not consciously, but
yeah, not willingly per se, but
yeah.
Yeah.
And you knew today was time.
it did.
I have a text message to prove it.
Good.
I hope for her, I hope for Jen as well, but yeah, it was the first time where I came here, where I've allowed my guard to come down a little bit and open my mind and welcome,
We can feel it from here. It's so powerful and so beautiful. Really, you're lighting up this room by opening yourself in this way. Everyone can feel it right now. It's really neat.
I can't tell you last time I cried, so, I mean, that right there, are the first words, it's like.
I love to cry. Don't be sorry. We need you. We need you. Okay. You are incredibly powerful. You have immense value. I knew that I would connect with you all day.
Thank you.
That's how powerful, I mean, and I'm going to be honest, I did not think about today till I got here. But you kept coming on in, and I said, yeah, I got it. I'm going to connect with her today. No. I tell you this so that you know how powerful you are, because it was you that connected with me. You let me know. There you go. Much better. There we go. Okay. Very cool. There's more, but Wendy's got some.
Yeah, I'm excited to connect with you too because you two are similar.
Yeah, I did detect that from the first time I came here, actually.
Yeah.
When we were in that other room.
Yeah.
And in some ways, it's like a sisterhood. You know, you have an entourage of certain beings that are with you, that are just with you. It's different. It's, if you so choose, you can learn those skills again this lifetime. I know I'm kind of going a little differently, going in a different direction, but you could be a healer again if you chose.
I'm very selective of people in my tiny little circle and I have people that are trying to pull me out of it and a wonderful man in my life now to beautiful, healthy children that are older, but, yeah, I can feel. what they're
Because in
saying.
some ways, that's part of like being seen. It's like, I mean, your guides are so interesting because in some ways, they're wanting to say some things to you that are, I'm fighting them a little bit because it's so, in some ways, so cliche. And they don't care about cliche, but it's like, you know, out of darkness, something about, you know, you needed the darkness, you needed these things. And though it does not justify what had been done to you or validate it by any means, but if you can understand that there is purpose to everything and you are meant to help people because you're figuring out how to help yourself. And though these are words that might just haunt you eventually, but it might be the future is what I'm trying to say. In trusting your own rhythm and when that's appropriate for you, because you are extremely gifted. You really are. And I say that, and you don't even really know what I mean, and neither does anyone in this room because we've never seen it before.
Well, maybe her and I, like, if anybody,
Yeah, there's a
if anybody else
similarity.
in this world, it would be this.
Yeah,
one
it's
right here.
different.
But it's
It's
good to know
different.
that I.
It's
that I
cool.
have that in me still. And
In some ways, you have to forgive where you've abused power. Like when I go to your power, it's because you are afraid of it. And that makes sense. Most of us are afraid of our own power. And you have abused it before. And it's okay. You have to forgive yourself.
I'll work on it.
It's exciting.
It is, it's a lot. I don't know how to like, I'm trying to like process it. I don't know how to convey like what I'm.
And it's very similar to Lisa, right? Where it's about you, you know, partly why you haven't gone yet, because it's hard for you to receive too, right? And that's part of the theme for this month. It's about receiving. You're way too hard on yourself. It's not nice. It's really not. And even as I say those words and give you this energy, I hear and feel parts of you that say, no, but it's okay. I deserve it. Or it's how it's always been, or I don't know. But that's, you're fighting me on it.
Wow.
All of that. Just. So much pain. I would really like for you to leave it here today. Intentfully, you can know what it is, what it was, or you cannot. It doesn't matter. It's a choice. You can leave it here today. I'll take it. I'll transmute it. Okay. In some ways, it feels like you don't even know some of the trauma that you experienced. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
And it was bad. That did happen. I don't want to invalidate that. You're invalidating that enough. And you're invalidating it because you're treating yourself the same way that you were treated. You're neglecting yourself. You're invalidating yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's easier.
And you're not doing anything wrong, and you're doing what you were taught. And that's why you're here.
Yeah, and I'm trying to exactly, I want to learn to release that into, yeah, absolutely, 1,000%.
There you go. Nice. Okay. So some of that most definitely very similar. You leave differently than you came. I want you to notice that it took you these months to get ready. And in honoring how you work, the gentleness that is required. Okay, hear me. You needed to be very gentle, very comfortable. That is how I want you to start talking to yourself. You are never doing anything wrong. You are never unworthy. Ever. And you're getting better every day, and you're learning every day, and you're growing every day. But you are not allowed to second guess, to beat the shit out of yourself when you do something that maybe didn't feel right. Does that make sense?
Crystal clear. Crystal clear.
And you have such an awareness of how you're talking to yourself, and that's almost like worse. Like some people like have really negative like critics inside, and they're not even really aware, and they just play out. But you actually are aware of it, so it like hurts you that much more because you're actually conscious of like, and girl, you are mean. You're mean. You're mean to your body. You're mean to yourself. Okay. No. Be nice. But
No, we honor you in your meanness because we all have that part of ourselves. Part of us
Our
ourselves,
own worst enemy.
right? And so we're gonna love the heck out of you.
Overcome that. I feel like I can.
Oh,
truly
for sure.
continue to thrive and yeah, I do. Thank you.
No, she's not gonna.
I know, but I just gotta say thank you.
You know, when anyone's channeling or what we do, really all we're doing is we're sending out a transmission to help remind you of who you truly are. That's all it is. And the more you can remember who you are, you're doing that for everyone that you meet. And that's all we're doing. It's a frequency that you remember. Right? It's a frequency. It feels good.
Yeah.
And you can expand because, you know, in all actuality, you are so light and so of light. This idea and these stories around darkness are just nothing but lies. So in some ways, that's the story that you have to stop holding. And those are the suitcases that you have to put down because in some ways they never happened. They happened. But in some ways, they never happen.
More.
Just expecting miracles. What if in this moment you remembered who you were and all the light that you are, and it was so bright that it went through all timelines to where you never ever forgot who you were in all of them? Where it dissipates all the darkness and all the lives and all the moments. That is a potential. That's a potential. And that's what I mean. It's like it never happened. Can you feel that?
I do.
Yep.
Wholeheartedly.
And that is the energy. You come in a way, you hold a frequency in your DNA that comes from like the future. That'd be the easiest way for us to describe it. Because it is a certain frequency that we haven't had here in a long time. It's about remembering.
So as much as I give it, I love giving people advice. I always know the right thing to say. I'm always there when someone's having a bad day, and I need to practice what I preach in my own direction, if that makes sense. And I abruptly lost my mother, who I was very close with, who I cared for, was her, taker, and lost a part of me a lot with that. She was always my, number one, no matter what I didn't like. She was my supporter. She was my, but I was hoping one day to get a connection of her there, through you guys. We run these times. They'll come through and, if she chooses to, but.
she will. She's here. And she does sit, not today, okay? And it makes me wonder if it's because you'll bring her through. Okay? She's never not with you. I can promise you that. Feel her. That's part of what this is about.
Everybody's looked for signs. My dad and my sisters, before they were even that close with her, some were there. And I don't look for them, but I've waited, if I'm opening to receive them. I was almost hesitant to at first. I'm like, oh, she's having good. She doesn't need to be down here in this chaos, you know, and then, with you guys more time, like open my mind more and, you know, and if she does, I know she will, and I don't know when she does, you know, but I'm not upset that she hasn't.
No.
Or when his sister would get mad, you know, and I'm like, no, that was good. You know, so-
Good. I am gonna invite you to be open. She really wants to come through to you, not through us. Okay? Because you need to know now that it's not outside of you. And this is for everybody. None of this is outside of us. It's within you. You want help, you can ask for help. We'll help you. Truly, ask us. Okay? But this is for you to get, for you to connect with, for you to receive from her. She's right here. She's never left your side, ever, ever. She will never, in fact. You are family, soul family. There you go. Did you just hear her, feel her?
I
Good,
got chills.
good.
Right,
That was
Drew
her.
my neck.
Thank you. I'm like, nope. She just said, she just felt me. Yep.
Yeah, they were right up
That was
my-
her. That was totally her. Yeah. She's very big. She's like, right here. Like,
Here.
ah,
All right, thank you ladies, very much.
you're very welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That message, those messages are like, you can see how the messages really overlay for everybody in this room. Like always, of course, everybody online even. I mean, this is what we all of us need to hear, some of these messages. So I want to honor you all. Thank you so much for being here, for letting us gather and do this together. As always, it really feeds me.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
I enjoy it. I mean, it feels just so good, right? When you can expand, kind of like let your wings out in a way, you know, you're like, yeah,
A weight lifting.
yeah, totally. To this and more. So as we go off into the month of April, know that, you know, that they're here, you know, they are here and they're always with us. And is about cultivating that loving relationship within yourself. That's what we call the sacred temple within. And so every moment of every day, the more you can cultivate that sense of love, and no matter what arises, because stuff is still going to continue to arise. I mean, that's what we're here for. Within yourself, just keep loving the heck out of it. That's when in doubt, just love it, right?
Absolutely.
So, thank you. Namaste.